What's up guys, this is Barney, and no, the title is not wrong. This is going to be a pure demolition defense on Summit. I just wanted to show you a nice little wallbang I got the other day. Also made sure to give a thumbs up for the epic intro done by Sniper Elite. I cannot thank you enough, buddy. But speaking of wallbangs, I really like this feature. They were a huge part of Counter-Strike, so playing that for 9 years, the complete absence of bullet penetration in Battlefield was a bit of a letdown for me. But I really enjoy killing enemies through walls in Black Ops. And the reason why I wanted to show you this game isn't because I get a beastly score, but because I showcase a fair amount of supportive teamwork, and especially in objective-based modes like Demolition, I just couldn't care less about my KD. For me it's all about winning. But this is not what I want to talk about today, because as I've promised you guys, I'm gonna dedicate this commentary to the topic of lag, or rather connections in general, as they are a very important part of multiplayer games and they play a huge part in determining how much enjoyment we can get out of our playtime. I'm not gonna go into very small details because I guess some of you would find it boring, but I'll try to explain all the important things about this topic so even console-only players will understand what's going on. First off, let's start with the very basics, like the definition of lag. Well, lag is the amount of time it takes for the data that your console or PC has sent to reach the host, may it be a dedicated server or another player. This data contains, of course, all the information about your position, the direction of your movement, and aiming, and other actions. The only way to get rid of lag is to be the host yourself, or to play in the same computer that runs the server. The bigger the lag is, of course, the more you'll find yourself at a disadvantage compared to other players, and especially the host. That's why serious gaming competitions are always held over a serial network. Only a LAN, which is a local area network, can provide equal chances to all players. Online game battles, or PCWs as we used to call them, will never be able to do that, even if everyone will have 100 megabit per second connection. Lag, latency or ping, however you want to call it, is measured in milliseconds. Unfortunately, in most console games there is no way to see how big the lag is. But just to give you an example of what kind of lag you have to face sometimes, let me tell you how things work in Counter-Strike, which is probably the most reflex-based game, and connection is much more of an issue in that game than other games. I have a 15 megabit per second connection, and my ping on Hungarian servers is generally below 30 milliseconds, sometimes even below 20. If I join a German server, which is about 8 to 1200 kilometers away from me, my ping goes up to 50 or 70, which can be downright unplayable. Of course, having that kind of lag is only a problem if you're playing really fast reflex-based games where you can die from one pistol bullet like Counter-Strike. Fortunately, Call of Duty and especially Battlefield do not require such fast reflexes, therefore it is still playable with a lag of, say, 200 milliseconds. Oh, by the way, this was a huge mistake on my part. This game was recorded just the day after the game came out, and as I've told you last time, you really have to let a lot of people go in this game. And I was stupid enough to think that the guy is gonna camp in the same corner, so I started firing on that wall, and I here go for the knifing, but the lunge is sometimes not long enough, so I pay for it. But even playing with 200 milliseconds of lag, I'm fucking camper by the way, Call of Duty and especially Battlefield are playable, because it is definitely noticeable, but you're gonna still be able to play with that kind of lag. And unfortunately, some of you console players may have never had the chance to see how smooth multiplayer games can be when played with low pings. And if you're wondering what kind of an effect high pings have on our gaming experience, well, let's just say that it can be game-breaking. I'm sure that you two guys have been seemingly killed with 2 shots from an M60 many times, only to see in the kill cam that it was actually a completely legit kill and it took your enemy 6 bullets to kill you. The other sign of lag is when you get 5 hit markers on someone and then he kills you and you see in the kill cam that you barely hit him once. And these are the better cases. I'm sure I don't have to introduce you to moonwalking or rubber banding. And by moonwalking, I don't mean doing the Jethro dance. I mean moonwalking is when you, for instance, go into a building and then 5 seconds later you find yourself outside of the house again. Now, you may ask, what can you do against lag? Well, I'm sorry to say, but if you're a console player, there's not much to do other than getting a better connection. On a PC, since you can adjust a number of different parameters in the developer console, there are a few techniques that can improve connection quality, like adjusting data packet size and packet sending rate, but I'm not gonna go into details on these because I'm sure you would find it boring. So instead, let's just go through the differences between dedicated servers and player host. I'm not gonna make a secret of it, I obviously prefer the former. I just think that dedicated servers are a lot more reliable in the long run, and lag is more consistent, I think. Of course, we all know that EA servers suck, and there have been a lot of problems with Bad Company 2. There were days when it was impossible to get in a game that wasn't lagging like shit, but those were the exceptions, and generally it's safe to say that dedicated servers are more reliable. I mean, I just cannot count how many times I got dropped out of a game in Black Ops during the 3 weeks it has been out. And especially playing with US hosts, I'm certainly gonna get a generous 2-bar tops, and it really limits my chances of winning one-on-one gunfights, not to mention knifing. But with dedicated servers, at least you know that your connection only depends on your internet and not the host. If you are playing on the PC, dedicated servers have other advantages as well, like setting up custom playlists, modding the game, and having private servers for your clan, etc. So there is no wonder why PC gamers were so pissed when Modern Warfare 2 was released without dedicated server support. On the other hand, it is somewhat understandable that Black Ops doesn't have dedicated servers for the consoles. I mean, setting up a server base for a game that almost 1 million people play every single day would be a freaking nightmare. And also matchmaking systems like in Call of Duty or Halo undeniably have their advantages as well, like putting players with similar skill levels in the same lobby. Unfortunately, the system fails to put you with players together who are from the same region, no matter what are your matchmaking preferences, which leads to higher pings. So overall, I personally prefer dedicated servers, and I'm happy that EA uses this system for its multiplayer games, and that ensures that most of the time we're gonna be having a lot of fun in Bad Company 2 and all the other Battlefield games that are gonna come out in the future. So I'm really happy that Battlefield uses this system. And I think that about wraps up this topic. I hope you didn't find it boring. I was just trying to clear a few misconceptions and maybe teach a few new things to players who have never played on the PC and therefore don't know much about this topic. The next commentary is gonna be Bad Company 2 again, since I've gotten a fair number of requests for some regular scoping gameplay. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If yes, please take 2 seconds and double click the like button. I would really appreciate it, and of course leave a comment below. Also make sure to check out an incredibly funny clip at the end, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers!